Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and welcome back to another Bakugan video. Today we're going to be taking a look at all of the, good Darkus Bakugan. I made a separate video covering all the evil Bakugan, so if you see some that you're thinking are Darkus and are not here, they're in the evil section of that, so I'll leave a link to that as well as an icon right there at the top. So you can check out Hydronoid and Darak and all of them. But this is going to be covering, I guess, the Darkus good side in a sense. I made a post recently saying that I thought the series was complete. I felt it was complete, but you guys said no, and you don't care about my feelings. So here we are covering the last set of them. As you can see, there's not many. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just 6, which I guess is similar to some of the Subterra or Helios. So I was apprehensive on the video, but you guys very clearly wanted it. So here I am making it. This is for you guys. So here we go. Before the video begins, I do want to let you know I do buy and sell Bakugan. You can check out my eBay and Mercari links down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I post Bakugan content weekly, if not 2 or 3 times a week. So make sure you turn on the bell notification as well to stay tuned for updates. For today's video, we're going to be using this Percival field card, which says a Percival Bakugan gets 100 G power for each ability card played by its owner during battle, so a pretty good one here, especially if you're playing Percival. I've seen a lot of pretty impressive Percival decks, so he seems to be a good one to brawl with, but 150 to Darkus, 200 to Aquas, and even 140 to Pyrus, so pretty good for any attribute of Percival, but we're going to be using this to start the video. Alright, and first up on the list is Darkus Percival. This is a translucent one, part of my translucent set, where I tried to collect all of New Vestroia as either translucent or as close to anime accurate as I could get. This one just happens to be translucent. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the different colors here. So of course we've moved on from Season 1 at all. You know, Hydronoid covers that Darkus area there. But we've moved on to a new color scheme, which is yellow in this. So we've got a nice, black. This is gray, but if it was solid, it'd be black on purple on yellow, which is really nice. And not too much going on pattern-wise here. There's nothing super crazy, but you can see, Percival's, horns there and all that, which are really nice. So, yeah, let's go ahead and pop them open. Percival has 2 manual parts, which are just the feet here, so 1 and 2. And we'll go ahead and pop him open, so boom. And as you can see here, he's pretty cool looking. I mean, he's got all these different colors going on, and then of course we've got these aren't actually heads, they're gauntlets on him. So I'll pull up pictures here as I kind of talk about him. But this is Ace Grit's Guardian Bakugan from Season 2, and we first see him fighting Neo Dragonoid just to see if they can get in with the resistance during the New Vestroia era. In terms of variations, Percival's got a lot. He's got Cyclone Percival, Alpha Percival, Midnight Percival, and then we'll get into Night Percival here in a little bit. But you've also got a pretty cool Vortex Percival that spins. So as Neo had his counterpart that spun, I don't have this one because this one's translucent, but there was one that spins, which is really cool as well. It was called Vortex Percival, and it really matches the way the show portrays it as well. And mine right here has 600 Gs. It's going to be kind of hard to see. I'm covering up my finger. There you go. So yeah, 600 Gs, and just overall a really solid Bakugan. I really like how Percival, I like his personality a lot. He's very cool, very knight-like. He reminds me a lot of Wolfurio, but almost a better version in a sense. We do actually get a pretty cool pattern here when it opens. Almost like bat-like, which is really nice. Yeah, that's actually pretty sick. I do like that a lot, now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, Percival in the show was super cool, and definitely almost like a good counterpart to Neo Dragonoid, because New Vestroia marks the first time we actually see good Darkus Bakugan, which is essentially the whole reason I'm making this video. But just being able to be we've got good Darkus, and there's actually some Darkus that are good. Really sets the stage for the rest of the seasons as we go on, and I'll get into that a little bit more as I go. But Percival here is very easy to close, so we just shut the feet up right there, and then it's just top down. So head goes down, then wings close, and then these I guess these are side wings as well or something. These close as well, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, now on to Darkus Knight Percival. This is probably one of the rarer Bakugan I own. This is a translucent one, which can go for quite a lot of money, and there's also quite a lot of people looking for this Bakugan. And so I was pretty fortunate to get one. And of course you can see that he looks really, really good. Both, even the solid colored version of this looks really good. But this is a mega upgrade from Percival in my opinion. Now, the color scheme isn't great compared to the show. Like, we have a lot of this silver here, which the show's version does not have. But, I mean, it looks incredible either way. The shininess to it makes me happy. And he is a vortex, so we should get a pretty decent spin when we drop him. Let's see. Alright, kind of good, kind of good. And Percival here has a lot of manual parts. So, first off, the feet need to pop open, like so. Right? Feet, and then in the back there's this little tail, which some people like to use completely propped up, like so. I kind of like to have mine a little bit flatter. It just feels better to me. He's on the magnet. And then, so with all Percival, like, they've always got these little horns, and they don't really pop out that much. Like, it's very subtle, but you can do that if you want. And then he's also got arms, so these arms come out right here as well. And so now you've kind of got the full effect, which is a lot harder to get than you think because it's got so many pieces. As you can see, mine still got the G power covered. I believe it is 540 Gs. This is a Japanese exclusive Bakugan, so they tend to be a little bit weaker over on the other side of the ocean. So yeah, but I mean, he's so awesome. Let me go ahead and pull him over here while I talk about him. So compared to the show, we have some different colors. Of course, you know, the feet and like the little like wing pieces are black in the show, but here we've got them silver. But otherwise, everything's pretty much as accurate as you can get it. Knight Percival evolves from getting the power from the Guardian Bakugan, as we saw in the first season as well. They come back for the second season and, you know, evolve all of the Brawlers Bakugan, and we get Knight Percival, who is a really, really sick upgrade. Like, he's really cool, and just the fact that he's Vortex too is really awesome. I like that spinning mechanic. Even though it's not useful in battling, it's just a really cool mechanic to have, and really just completes his character, I think. And like, even his like actual monster form, like, he's got this shield and this like dark saber. It's so cool. I really like it. And just his whole attitude and stuff. Like, Percival was super strong and like one of my favorite characters in New Vestroia, and honestly, this is one of my favorite Bakugan overall. Like, the design on it is peak Bakugan. Like, New Vestroia did it really well. They upgraded from season 1 where season 1 was lacking, and they did an amazing job. And so let's go ahead and close this Percival. I don't like to touch this one too much because he's so rare, and he is actually kind of flimsy. Like, he's not like crazy bad, but I don't like all these small pieces. So let's go ahead and close the feet here. So feet close, and we'll close this tail like so. And then this is the best way I found to do it. So we flip these pieces back right here. So pieces go back. These gauntlet pieces go in. Well, let's go ahead and close these hand pieces first. Then the gauntlet pieces go in. And then we close the head. And then we shut these wing pieces. And it's kind of like all at once. And I just kind of mush him because he does like to pop open. Yeah. Yep, see, he's trying. I can't ever really keep him closed. You gonna stay closed, Percival? No, he really likes the audience, I guess. Oh, okay. Let's try this one more time. Are you good? Are you gonna cooperate? Okay. And that was how you close Knight Percival. Up next, we have Ren Crawler's Guardian Bakugan Darkus Linehalt. And Linehalt's an interesting one because he's very reminiscent of Percival, but not quite. There is some differences. And his story is pretty interesting because he was like possessed by some forbidden power, which made him like super like evil in a sense. I'm doing that with air quotes. But yeah, I mean, Gundalian Invaders, we get this new color scheme, which is mostly dark and green, which I actually prefer a lot. It kind of backs up the DNA codes right here, like you see. It really just strengthens those, I think, which is really cool. It just makes them more kind of, I don't know, it gives it more of an evil feel, but it's not quite the same as that purple, which, I don't know, it does go with me. I like it a lot. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop open Linehalt. So Linehalt here has a couple manual parts. First off, the feet. Let's go ahead and pop them open. And then as you can see, we've got some horns going on. So we gotta, usually I just bend his head down and then pop the horns out because there's two green ones. You got two green ones right here. They're pretty hard to get out. And then you've got this back horn, which goes this way. And then he's also got these hands that kind of can move in and out and all that, but I like to keep them in just because it's easier to close. And so let's go ahead and put him on display here. Get some pictures going as well. And if you watch the show, you'll learn that like Ren and Linehalt kind of have a history together, kind of growing up together in Gundalia. So they've been partners for quite a long time. And Ren tries to kind of trick the brawlers at the very beginning, infiltrating Bakugan inner space and all that with Linehalt, and then eventually as time goes on through the show, Linehalt and Ren leave the 12 orders and join the Bakugan battle brawlers, so Linehalt's personality kind of changes there. And then as you saw from the pictures, the color schemes are actually pretty spot on. The only difference is we're missing that yellow horn and then the red under the wings right there, but otherwise, I mean, he's pretty much exactly how you expect him to be. He again looks a lot like Knight Percival, with the horns and the wings spread out like that, but he is pretty much a separate Bakugan in my opinion. He does have a lot of differences, especially with his attitude, so that does make up for it. He also has his Boomix gear, which is his battle gear, so we just released that right there. I have the copper version in the show. I believe they used the silver one. But it's also got this kickstand here, which is nice and actually kind of easy to miss. It's in a very good spot to hide, but we'll kick that out in a second. But battle gear goes on and it will deploy, so like that. And then you kind of got to tuck it over the wings some there. And then the kickstand will pop out and boom. So 160 Gs on that. And then I believe my Linehalt has, let's see, where does it say? Oh yeah, it's scuffed. I think it's 560. It could also be 680. I don't know. It doesn't really. It's so scuffed, and I don't know if the wiki actually says. I can double check. Yeah, so the wiki only really states the American G power. I'm pretty sure this is a Japanese one, but it's something with an 80 in it. It's probably 580. But this is Linehalt with Boomix, and Boomix looks incredible on him. Like, really, really, really good. I'm a huge fan of this as a battle gear. It really actually, like, Linehalt is one of the very few Bakugan that can look good and not flat without his battle gear, but when he does put it on, it definitely makes him look better. And I'll go ahead and put up some pictures there, just so you can see really quickly. But the Boomix gear is really cool. It's almost like it's just a giant cannon, really. In the show, it looks good as well. It's just an overall really good piece to have, I think. And it completes Linehalt. Like, if you like Linehalt, it's pretty sick. And I'm pretty sure you see it in, like, the first episode or so. So, I mean, that's just, you know, kind of a plus. But to close Boomix, all we do is flip this kickstand up. And then I like to take this and flip that back. And then these pieces all close individually, and then you just hold. I always hold these down because this will lock it in. So I hold these. Oh, they're staying. Okay. Hold this down, and then this goes in, and boom. That's how you close Boomix. And then Linehalt here, we're going to close the feet, and then the wings. Make sure you pop those up, and then the horns go down right there, and then these go in, and then head closes, and then you kind of just have to make sure everything gets tucked in, and then boom. That's easy. It's not too bad. It might take you a couple tries if you're just getting them, but that is how you close Darkus Linehalt. Alright, up next we have Darkus Infinity Helios. We're finally on to Mectanium Surge Arc 1. I've done quite an extensive review on this Bakugan. I've done an extensive review on all the Helios, but nonetheless, he is a good Darkus Bakugan, so he is in this video. Let's go ahead and take a look at him real quick. So we've got most of the correct colors from Mectanium Surge, except this should be a green, and you'll see pictures of that here in a second after I pop him open. We've also got this G power wheel here, so the great thing about Infinity Helios, at least it's never really mentioned in the TV show, But in the game, you can spin, so there's an arrow here, and you can actually spin the G power to pick whichever one you want. So I had mine set on the strongest, but there's, 500, 560, 620, 680, 380, 440, and then back to 500. So you have a lot of options there. This one's also not the die-cast version, it's just a plastic one. But I believe the American versions were die-cast, which is pretty cool. And so let's go ahead and pop Helios open. So boom, and then you got to flip his head out here. So that's one manual part that normally doesn't flip. And then his feet come out like this, so the feet pop, and then they also have more feet here. And then I always just place him on the ground and flatten them out. But otherwise, he is, that's it. That's all Helios is. He's a little bit more complicated than the other evolutions, but still really cool. And I think it's interesting in the show, I've talked about this before, but like, he goes from Pyrus to Darkus, which is significant, and he says something along the lines of like, can a Bakugan change or whatever like that, which is pretty cool, because he just, in order to get stronger, he went to Darkus, which is interesting. And then of course you've also got Mutant Helios here, which in the show they can combine and form different mutants. I've done extensive reviews on Mutant Helios and the other mutants, but this is a custom painted one I have in case you were curious, right here. So pretty awesome. But yeah, they do mutate and stuff, so I figured I'd throw him in there just for a quick mention. But let's go ahead and talk about him. So as you can see here, they're relatively similar in terms of like imaging, but yeah, he is totally the same Bakugan besides from that green. And then of course his spinning wheel, like you see the spinning wheel up there, but it's not exactly like G power or anything, it's just kind of there. The amount of power this Bakugan has, like I've said it before in a video, but if Drago didn't have his like, Infinity Core or like just plot armor, this would be the strongest Bakugan in the game. Hands down, Helios would be it. And I'll hold myself to that, like that he is the strongest Bakugan. And so here is Helios's Baku Nano, which is Boombaplode, and it pops open just like this. There's a little tab, and you pop that, and then boom, it's completely open. It's got 80 Gs right there, which is the anime accurate, like silver version of it. And it's very different from the one that's in the show. But the way I put it on is like this. So Helios has a bunch of different like holes for Nano. There's one there on the tail and then two on both arms. So he's got a lot. I've been putting mine on like this on the back. I'm not sure how accurate that is because there's not really a real answer, but this is how I've seen most people do it. And I'll go ahead and pull up pictures here just so you can take a look at the differences. Obviously the one in the show is incredible. I think it's one of the best looking Baku Nano we have, especially when it's on Helios. It looks like a giant like, cannon. Like there's a ton of different stuff on it. There's a ton of different guns on it. There's like 5 guns and then there's the one on the top. So I guess if you can kind of imagine this is 2 and this is 2 and this is the one on top, maybe you can kind of like, I don't know. It's iffy, but it's close enough. But yeah, Helios just super awesome. Love this Bakugan, especially just in the show, he was incredible. And so to close the Nano, I shut this, and then it just wraps all the way around and closes together. Very easy. Helios, on the other hand, gets a little complicated, so I shut the feet, and then I fold those up. And then the head and everything is just complicated. You have to fiddle with it. So the head rolls back, okay? And then fold all that in. So the head goes in, and then the arms go up, and then it's just I don't know. There's not a great way to do it, but then I just kind of just shut everything as much as I can, and eventually it will all go into place. It's just got to be positioned just right. Like that tail and stuff will catch, the handle catch, and then eventually if you just play with it enough, you'll get it to close. And that is Darkus Infinity Helios. Up next is Darkus Skytruss, and honestly for Mectanium Search Act 2, like Part 2, I don't have a whole lot to say about these, but we still have to cover them. So as you can see here, pretty similar to the ones in the show, at least color-wise. There's actually not a whole lot going on. I do like this dull gray though. It is actually nice looking. The Bakugan, these feel really high quality, which is something I didn't expect. They actually feel pretty like good in my hand. But yeah, like I said, not a whole lot going on. Let's go ahead and pop them open because there are a ton of manual parts. These are Sky Raiders, so they are going to like bounce up into the sky. Oh, he actually didn't jump. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay, really weird. I don't know why he didn't jump, but yeah, here we go. So Skytruss has obviously a whole slew of manual parts, and then even more just to connect to Magma Fury. But we're going to start with the tail here, so these tail pieces pop out, and then most of the other stuff is just in the wings. So we've got a little piece here that pops out, and then this wing comes out, and then same on the other side here. And that is most of Skytruss. As you can see there, 930 Gs, very strong Bakugan. The head can like move like this, like if you want it to go down and stuff, you have that. But otherwise, like that's pretty much Skytruss, and I'll go ahead and pull up pictures here so you can see some similarities. But like honestly, the colors are spot on for the most part. You've got those yellow dots. You're missing a little bit of silver. Like there could be silver right here and there, but otherwise just the same. And then Skytruss in the show, man, he looked. Let's just be honest, he looked ugly. Like this dude, like I don't even know what they're trying to get at. This guy is freaky. Um, and like when he came into the show, I was like, whoa, what the heck is that? But they trained, so Oberus and Skytruss, I'm speaking about them as if they're both together. They were Jakor's apprentices, and so they got to like, you got to see them train, and like the only really significant thing they did in the show was infiltrate Wise Man's like cave and get some info on that, and that's honestly it. All right, and so to close Skytruss, it's actually kind of complicated. So Sky Raiders like to fight when you're trying to close them. So close up all the different manual bits, so all the wing pieces, and then I always close the tail like that, and then the head goes back, and then I just shut the feet and then close the wings on both sides, and that usually keeps them together. And that's how you close Darkus Skytruss. And last on the list, we have Darkus Orbeum, which is a little bit better than Skytruss, but not all that much more significant anyway, I don't think. This one definitely has a lot more manual parts. So as you can see here, we've got a very similar color pattern. Again, feels really good in the hands. You know, pretty solid color scheme. Very different. Interesting how they do like the dark gray instead of like the silver, like here on Helios. Like the color difference in the silver is super interesting how they did that. I don't know why, because the color scheme rolls over. But let's go ahead and open Orbeum because he's got a lot of manual parts to make him look how he does. So let's go ahead and pop him open. Again, he's a Sky Raider. Oh, and he didn't jump either. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so tons of different parts here. So first we've got the like ear pieces here that come up. So we've got that. And then we've got tail back here, which pops open. Tail rolls out like this, so we've got that, and then this is where the legs come in. So they're both the same on each side, but they pop out like so on each side, and you got to fiddle with them a little bit. All these different pieces that just come up. So these come up, and then there's these. I think these are really feet. Like they resemble feet. They don't look like it, but they are. And then these roll out if you can get them. They're really tiny. Last thing you really got to do is lock the feet back, and then just make sure these are lowered because they act as back feet, and then position them, and then boom. Sort of like this. It's actually not too bad, and it does make it look a lot better than having them like lay flat. This one here has got 910 Gs, so really strong. Not quite as strong as Skytruss though, but still really powerful. And yeah, I'll go ahead and pull up some pictures as to what he looks like. Again, very similar. We did lose a little bit of the yellow, especially like on the chest here. It's lacking there, but otherwise, like again, same Bakugan, really, like same color scheme, just losing small bits of silver, and then of course some of the feet don't look the same, but otherwise, like, he's the same Bakugan, which is, you know, pretty good. I think Mectanium Surge, like I say, really did a good job capturing very good similarities. This one I like a little bit better than Skytruss. Orbeum is a bit less freaky than Skytruss, but nonetheless, like, again, I don't know what they were doing with these guys. Like, the color palette and the designs were not great. That's about all I really have to say about them. Like I said, you know, the only significant thing they really did was infiltrate Wise Man's cave, and that's about it, besides combine with Magma Fury. But I don't know, I didn't really think that was all that incredible. But yeah, so to close Orbeum, we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna close the horns here, like so. Okay, and then all these different leg pieces need to go back. So all these need to go in, all these need to go up and in, and then the tail flips back, locks in, head locks in, and then I always close the feet first and then lock these back into place. And boom. And that is how you close Darkus Orbeum. And guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I want to know, who is your favorite Darkus Bakugan? I think for me, it's definitely Knight Percival, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. Who is your favorite? And with that, that'll be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more awesome content. My name is Jesse, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.